Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm DC. Okay, so today I just want to talk about the new processed foods that are just getting worse and worse. And at the moment, it seems like they literally want you to eat garbage. Okay, so they are literally trying to, well, actually this video or this information is a couple of years old. So and as you know, most companies, they pretty much just go ahead and do things and pretty much just ask for forgiveness afterwards and just pay the fines and continue the operation. So whether or not you trust the processed foods that you are eating or not, that's up to you. But I just want to show you that some of the things that they are doing, for example, in the 70s, they were concerned about the soy protein isolates and things like that getting into from packages that actually sealed cardboard boxes, made them waterproof. Okay, getting into the food supply, and now they are in every processed food you can mention, and including even meat products. So you know, these are things that are happening now. So I just wanted to show you some of the other things that are going on right now, but we're going to talk about PFAS to start with in particular, because these, PFAS are a big concern now from food packaging, same as, soy was in the 70s. All your bottled water and anything that has plastic chemicals in it, even the clothes and now food. So just first off, we're going to have a look at a video by Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Kayla Daniel. Okay.
Chemicals are used in the manufacture of thousands of different things, from the plastic bag that your food comes in, to the plastic clothes that you wear every day, to the personal products like lipstick and things that you put on your face and in your mouth. Now, there have already been huge fines to some of these chemical companies. DuPont and Chemours agreed to a fine of $671 million just a few years back. Now, that's not a nuisance lawsuit. You might agree to pay $1 or $2 million if you're a company their size, but you're not going to agree to pay $671 million in a settlement unless you're guilty and you've been up to some nasty shit. So here are the three most common forever chemicals. Now, whether these are the most common in our environment or they're the three most commonly discussed is up for debate. But you can see that they're basically a long string of F's connected to some other elements. And just for full disclosure, each and every one of those F's is a fluorine molecule. Also the same fluorine found in fluoride that many people worry about being in their tap water. And so in just a few years' time, what's going to happen is you're going to be more exposed to fluoride from forever chemicals than you were ever exposed to fluoride in your drinking water. First of all, the United States EPA toxicity database lists 14,735 unique forever chemicals in the world, and then PubChem, which is kind of a chemistry data collection site, they list about 6 million different forever chemicals. Now, the two biggest companies responsible for manufacturing forever chemicals and putting them out into the environment are DuPont and 3M. And so you understand there's a lot of money involved. But when you also find out that both DuPont and 3M are owned and controlled by Vanguard Group, which is currently, they control over $8 trillion worth of companies.
So, this is just the tip of the iceberg with PFAS. Okay, so these things are chemicals, forever chemicals that largely to do, have fluoride molecules in them. which are non-carcinogenics, and it's bad enough that these are in our drinking water. It's pretty much in everything and everywhere now. So I'll put a link in the description for that video because it's quite good. So I suggest go check it out. But this is just like back in the 70s, you know, when cardboard boxes used to be, you know, they had these wax type sealants on them. These were soy isolate proteins, okay? And they were concerned about these getting into the food supply back then. But now they're in every processed food you can mention. And you can see all this information in videos I've already done before, speaking to different doctors along the way. So, you know, feel free to check out some of those videos. I'll also put some links in the description for you to for, most specific ones. Okay, but next, just a reminder.
As safe in the food supply. And I'm here to let you know that soy protein isolate, soy protein concentrate, and other soy protein products have never received official safe food status. Now, how can that be? Most foods that were in the food supply prior to 1958 were grandfathered in. But here's the thing. Soy protein isolate and other soy proteins were not then used as food. They were used as binders and sealers with cardboard packaging. That's right. Industrial uses, not in the food supply. Fast forward ahead to 1979, the SCOGS Committee, the Select Committee on Gross Substances, was investigating soy, and they did not like what they were finding. What were they finding? Carcinogens such as nitrosamines and toxins such as lysinoalanines that appear in soy protein isolate as a result of modern industrial food processing methods. And here's the thing. They were not concerned about how much of these carcinogens and toxins we would get from eating soy, because back then nobody was thinking about soy as a staple food, much less as a health food. No, here's the thing. They were thinking about soy protein isolate flaking off the cardboard box and getting into the Cheerios or other food product that you were going to eat. That was their concern.
Forever chemicals so bad for you? Well, this is what the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency here in the United States, this is what they've come up with so far. And keep in mind, these are the guys that would one day like to work for those billion-dollar corporations that are controlled by the Vanguard Group. So keep in mind that they've got their blinders on and probably their muzzles as well. But they have come up with the fact that PFAS, forever chemicals, might affect growth, affect learning, and affect behavior in children, that they probably lower a woman's chance of getting pregnant, that they interfere with hormone production and regulation, that's all the hormones in your body, that they definitely impact the immune system, your ability to fight off infections and inflammation, and that they almost certainly increase your risk of cancers. And there's a long list of cancers that they probably increase your risk of developing. And I've included some research on all this down in the show notes below. One of the main places you're going to be exposed to forever chemicals is in your drinking water. And this absolutely applies to you if you're drinking city water that is controlled by a municipality. This is going to be true in many cases, even if you're drinking well water. And also, it's actually been documented that these forever chemicals have been found in rainwater. So literally, any source of drinking water on the planet is probably going to have some degree of forever chemicals in them. Now, so the first thing you want to do is you want to filter any water that you drink or that you cook with that will ultimately be ingested by you and your family. You can get rid of forever chemicals by all water filtration systems that use distillation, that distill the water. You can get rid of all the forever chemicals if you have a reverse osmosis filter here in our household. Nobody drinks a drop of water or cooks with a drop of water in this house that doesn't go through the reverse osmosis filtration system. The next step is to never ever eat food that has been above room temperature in a plastic container, in a plastic bag. And keep in mind that most paper bags and paper food containers, they actually have a coating of plastic over them to make them waterproof. If you don't believe this, then just try to wrap up some hot, moist food in a newspaper and see how quickly the newspaper falls apart.
Yeah. And that goes for not just for your food products, but, you know, so a lot of people these days, that they drink more than they eat, especially when it comes to carbohydrates. Okay. So, yeah, even if like people go to places like Starbucks, for example. Now, Starbucks, I've done a video on before. These coffee houses, they use a lot of seed oils and sugar, of course. One venti latte from Starbucks has more sugar than 7 glazed donuts, for example. It also has more seed oils. So you might as well eat, if you're going to drink a venti latte from Starbucks, or, you know, to eat a box of donuts, it's probably safer to eat the box of donuts. The amount of seed oils, they have 5 different types of seed oils in these drinks, these lattes and whatnot. And one in particular, carrageenan, they actually use in labs to produce and grow tumors for a study on cancer research. Okay, so these things are, like, these seed oils mixed with the sugar are highly addictive. Okay, and highly fattening. Whenever you add an oil with sugar, that is just death. That's when you get all these diseases and things like that. And of course, the seed oils are the root cause of these, and they're very cheap machine oils, really. So you can see why these places grow to a global company. But the whole point of this video today is to show you that they are literally trying to feed you garbage. Okay, so I'm just wanted to emphasize up until now just how dangerous these chemicals are, and, you know, what they are doing. Okay, but now they're trying to turn your garbage, okay, all this plastic pollution and garbage, into your food. They are literally trying to, well, this video is actually a couple of years old, and like I said, before, you know, when it comes to these forever chemicals, they figured that they would just dump it first and ask for forgiveness afterwards. Okay, so whether or not it's in the food supply now, well, your guess is as good as mine. But they are literally turning this plastic rubbish, this garbage, into what they call a protein powder. Okay, as you know, they want it to be now part of the food supply, which is pretty much exactly what they've done with the seed oils from the past, as, you know, sealants and binders and everything like that. Now they've got it in the food supply, and everything that is heavily processed, including your so-called vitamins and minerals and, you know, your health foods like your protein bars and protein powders. Now they're doing that same thing with plastic garbage. Okay, but, you know, this obviously wouldn't work if you had an alternative food source. So you'll notice over the years they keep demonizing real whole foods, especially animal-based foods, you know, trying to scare everyone from eating it. And now, of course, they have a new flu they're trying to scare everyone with, because it's you know, in the meat products. So if you don't have a food source, then the only alternative will be to eat the garbage that they're trying to sell you. Now, there are a number of different things that actually make up protein, but these people seem to think that any type of protein will do, that your body it'll be bioavailable for your body to absorb, And this is where you get problems. This is where you have like the seed oil problems, okay, because they think that animal fats, so they keep telling us animal fats are bad for us. They cause all different problems, but you know, they haven't caused any problems for the last 4.5 million years, just the last 100 or so. All right, so there are a number of reasons why this just is not going to be healthy, no matter what they tell you. All right, the forever chemicals for a start, okay, which are obviously problematic now already. The same as these heavily processed protein powders. They are a very, very poor form of protein. They've been so heavily processed that they're really not going to do much for you. They're also full of seed oils, flavorings and colorings and all sorts of other chemicals that are just toxic anyway. And the so-called vitamins and minerals that come along with them, and even in pill form, these are manufactured vitamins and minerals that are just fake. You should be getting these from a healthy diet, okay, a good mix of animal fats, okay.
What if the next alternative was made out of plastic? There's new research that could make it a reality.
All right, Stacey Delcat talked to a scientist about the process that could help fight hunger and pollution.
Food shortages are worsening around the world, and the plastic pollution crisis continues to intensify. What if there was one solution to both of these problems? A Michigan scientist thinks there could be.
What we're trying to do is to use microbes to take plastic and other inedible plant material and turn that into something that's nutritious.
The idea is to turn components of plastic into protein and other nutrients like fats and sugars. If that sounds kind of gross to you, well,
I don't want to eat plastic either. What we're trying to do is to take that plastic and turn it into something completely different.
Steve Techman, an environmental microbiologist and an associate professor at Michigan Technological University, and his colleagues were just honored with a more than $1 million Future Insight Prize from a German company that will allow them to delve deeper into their research. Techman says their process works by using microbes to break down the plastic completely.
In the end, all we're left with are microbial cells. And those cells are made up of a lot of the same things in the food that we eat: proteins, lipids, sugars, and vitamins.
Techman says the resulting cells, once dried out, are a powder resembling brown sugar. And he says the full conversion takes just about a day.
Which I think is pretty.
So there it is, guys. You know, they are literally trying to feed us garbage.